Hello and welcome to Horror and Monster Collectibles, where today we're going to be taking a look at NECA's brand new Sergeant D from the Stormtroopers of Death. And I can't believe that we are actually getting a Sergeant D figure. S.O.D is probably one of my favorite punk thrash bands from the 80s, and the 15-year-old kid inside of me is just beyond stoked that I am actually going to open up a Sergeant D figure. My mind is blown. So let's go ahead and spin around and take a closer look. All right guys, so here is Sergeant D out of the packaging. Now if you are unfamiliar with S.O.D, they were basically a band, like a crossover thrash band that had Scott Ian and Charlie Benante from Anthrax on there, and then of course Billy Milano. You guys are probably familiar with the song March of the S.O.D, which they played, I think it was even on like Headbangers Ball, something popular like that. And then Chromatic Death. They had tons and tons of songs from the Speak English or Die album, and I just cannot believe that we actually have this figure. Now I am going to jump to what the body looks like on him, because they installed my belt upside down, so I had to take it off, and I figured I would go ahead and show you what the body is like. And on these clothed action figures, the movement is pretty basic on here. Not a whole lot. There's not double joints and anything like here. He is 8 inches to the top of his head, and let's go ahead and start. Speaking of the head, we will start here, and we'll set him down. Take a look at the helmet, the detailing on here, which is really well done. And this is out of a soft like ABS or PVC material, so it's very pliable. Take a look at the head sculpt, which they captured Sergeant D's look perfectly. I love the cigar and the smoke on here, and he just looks so freaking badass. Let's go ahead and get the belt on here real quick, and then we'll go over all the other articulation points. All right guys, so I have the belt installed. If it happens to you, if these are upside down, it's really easy to correct. Just pop off those tabs and hook them back on again. Super easy. So let's go back through the articulation here. The head has a ball joint, so there is tons and tons of movement here. And we actually have good pitch as well, so we can get a lot of movement out of that, and I like that a lot. As far as the shoulder, we have full rotation in the shoulder, but we are limited by the clothing. There is a bicep swivel, and we have a single jointed elbow, which allows for 90 degrees of movement. Then we have the wrist, which has full rotation and pivot. Although mine is a little loose right here, but we can take a look at the sculpt for the forearm and the hand, which looks really cool. And then this is the other hand sculpt to hold the gun. But he looks super cool. And I love the tailoring on the jacket. I think it looks really nice. To its benefit, having it rough like this kind of fits the character as far as threads and whatnot. It looking rough fits. And I love the knot inclusion on here. I was a huge Anthrax fan back in the day. And I actually still am. When they reunited, they've been putting out some great music since then as well. But I love S.O.D. We'll come down through here. Now again, we have lots of hip movement here, but we are limited by the outfit. But we do have nice 90-degree bend here on the hips. We do not have rotation on the thigh though. We do have a single jointed knee, which does not allow for 90 degrees of movement, which is kind of unfortunate. I wish we had 90 degrees here, but we don't. Check this guy. Yeah, no. These clothed figures are usually pretty limited on things, and the thing that they're limited most on is the ankle, and I really wish they weren't. There is good sculpt work on his boot. What I mean by limited ankle movement is we have pitch here, but we don't really have any roll, just the way it's designed, and it really sucks because a lot of times you have them out like this and you want to be able to turn that ankle in to level out the foot, and you just can't do it. Setting Sergeant D aside real quick, we will look at his rifle, which is unpainted, but doesn't really need to be painted. It's just black anyway. But it looks freaking cool. And his strap. So let's go ahead and install the rifle on Sergeant D. And here is the rifle installed. It went on without any kind of fuss. You can see the right hand holding the rifle, and there is even room for his trigger finger on there, and the left hand palming the gun. He holds it very well and sturdily. You can also display him with the gun just around his shoulder using the strap. There's several ways you can kind of have him set up, but I really love this figure. I think he looks way rad. Alright guys, so that's about all there is to go over on this Sergeant D figure. Again, I am just floored by this thing. I think it's the coolest thing ever. It's something that I always wanted. Well, I say I always wanted. It's something I never knew I wanted. I didn't ever think when I was a kid listening to S.O.D that I would ever get a Sergeant D figure. It wasn't even in my mind as a possibility. But now it's a reality, and I am thrilled. I was a huge metalhead back in the day, in the 80s. I listened to everything from thrash to death metal, you name it. I was a huge Anthrax fan as well, big Charlie Benante fan, and Scott Ian. I actually got to meet Scott Ian at Monsterpalooza last year or so. NECA's worked with him in the past. They have a Scott Ian action figure that they did, and I got him to sign that and meet him, and it was really cool to finally meet him. Super chill dude, as you would imagine. But again, I'm really thrilled to have this piece. As always, feel free to leave any questions or comments that you might have on it, and I'll be happy to answer them. And feel free to like and subscribe and click the bell for notifications for new videos. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.